This episode of the Good, the Bad, and the Geeky podcast is brought to you by Audible.com.
Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky.
Audible.com. Over 85,000 titles to choose from for your iPod or MP3 player.
Warning! The podcast you're about to hear is very filthy. We say naughty words you would use as an adult anyway. It'll cause you not to eat your vegetables, and your mom generally thinks it's a bad idea.
Any moment of the show that has any similarity to the history of any person living or dead, real or fictional, to real events are entirely unintentional and coincidental. Unless we're specifically noted otherwise in the cast and crew credits, all celebrity voices are impersonated, and no celebrity has endorsed any aspect of this show. Hey everyone, welcome out to another episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky. That was really cool. I have not touched anything, but we're recording the if you're watching the Ustream right now, you saw the intro to the show on the Ustream. Very cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's something I got, and Nathan has headphones now as well. Very excited about it.
Sweet, I don't like my voice.
I'm sorry, Nathan.
Sorry, we don't either.
We don't. Well, we're, by the way, we like to apologize in advance, I guess we should start off by saying, but we just played a game of Penny Can before recording the show. John and I are actually, John's actually doing very well. I am a giant vagina, apparently, because I'm
So
still...
you have sand in your
I have
vagina.
sand in my vajayjay. My vajingo, as Elliot would say from Scrubs, because I am not holding my liquor well. How many shots did I do?
Technically 6.
I don't know if you did that many.
I think
Well, some of them were kind of filled high.
yeah.
But I say all in all about 6.
6, so I did 6 shots. And
did I do? Probably 8.
God, you did 8, dude. No.
You do 8.
No, he did 7.
You made 2.
Yeah, you made 2. I
Maybe
made
7, yeah.
Yeah, it was 7. God, I mean, man.
Horrible.
Yeah. But you know what, though? You were a trooper. You've not puked in my bathroom yet, which is fantastic.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have pooped.
Well, but either way, I'm glad it was a joke. But and also, you were a good sport about it because I sprung it on both of you last minute. Because we all knew, except for Nathan, we knew we were playing Penny Can. But if you're listening to the GBG app, you'll actually see or hear, I should say.
Yeah.
And then later in the week, we'll do I'll release the YouTube video of it because I think I got like round 3 to the end, which was pretty good. Which John got one back. Did you get one backwards or no? No. Nathan Nate did. Yeah, Nate shot a Penny Can from behind, and you're probably going, well, who cares about Penny Can? Well, let me tell you, we got Bill Lawrence on the show tonight. He's a great guest, and so that's why we're doing Penny Can. He did CougarTown. That's the game they play on CougarTown, and that's what what we played Penny Can. So we'll talk to Bill here in a bit. But first off, how's everybody week going? Everybody. Lord, everybody's.
Your buddies.
See, the alcohol. See, I'm still not I ate like some bread. Tried to...
Eaten.
See? I'm worse than I usually am.
No, you're about to say.
You. Politely, of course. In a way that is befitting of a friend.
You want us to
The
talk
way a friend would... A friend with benefits, obviously.
Of course.
I had my week was pretty interesting, but I had a very interesting day today.
Oh, yeah?
Why?
As I'm getting ready to start P90X, I hear all this shouting outside. And the shouting escalates, and you start hearing all these F-bombs. And then, it's literally like planes, trains, and automobiles, where Steve Martin is pissed, and he's talking to the red-haired lady at the counter like, you left me literally like that. Except,
Wait a minute, how did you get involved in that? Like, where were you at?
I was inside, and like I said, I was writing in my little book, and I was getting ready to start it, and then you could just hear outside.
Did you have the window open or something?
Where was this at? Where was this at? Where were you writing this book?
I was in my house. I was in my house.
Okay.
Looking outside, and so you hear all this stuff. Look, I'm going to you up, and all this stuff that guys.
I was pissed. Sorry.
No, you weren't there. You got your butt kicked.
Oh,
really?
yeah.
It is what was really funny was all of a sudden you see one guy I don't know, the other guy I don't know his name, but he is my neighbor, and he runs out in his tidy whities and this white shirt. He's not obese, but he is overweight, and
he's a fatty. It's okay, you can say he's a fatty.
But he starts to run out, and then he goes back into his house. He starts to run out, and then his dog, which is this little beagle, starts to run out with him. So you got this little tiny beagle barking, tidy whitey fatty, shouting, shouting, and then this other guy's in like a red long sleeve shirt, brown mustache, brown hair. They're shouting like, "I'm gonna F you up." And then there's only so much I can see. Like I can't see the actual street. I can't see South Center where I live.
Yeah.
So for like 5 or 6 seconds, I don't see anything. But they never actually fight. He ends up inviting this guy into his house. And then I'm thinking, so you're just inviting him into the house because he's going to hit him? Because I've seen this guy sit on a porch with a BB gun and a shotgun. So I'm wondering, I think it may have just been a BB gun. The shotgun may be a lie. That was at night. But, it kind of cocked like one. But it was just, and the guy ended up leaving. He had no marks on his face, no nothing. And they talked about money for something.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I just thought it was really interesting because I thought about, do I call the cops? Do I not? Do I try to break it up? And then he's out in his underwear. I'm like,
don't be here now.
I'm not. What I would have done is go out and pull his pants down to try to get everybody to think of something else.
Like, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about fatties in underwear? No. Don't think about that.
Don't think about elephants. What do you think about?
Not elephants.
White tigers. I don't know
what
what.
the ligers.
What's
Lion
that?
and a tiger.
To specifically just get off track. I was at the circus with Wendy in her class, and there are ligers. I'd never seen one before.
What's
A lion crossed with a tiger?
There are ligers. That's a real animal.
Now, is this like a real fact? Like,
This is real.
okay, like Nathan is colorblind, kind of fact,
I
or
am
Nathan has
colorblind.
Asperger's.
I do have Asperger's. There really are ligers.
Why are they called ligers? Why not
'Cause they're-
tigrans?
Tigrans. I like
Tigans?
tigrans. Let's go with tigrans. Why don't they
You
call
can
them
say
tigrans?
tians.
Why would you say
Tines?
tigrans? You don't say tigrer.
Tigra.
You say tiger, so you say tigans.
Tyran.
Tigans.
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 You say
Tigan.
tigans.
Sure. Well, okay. Tigans then.
Tigan.
Tigan.
That's what I
I
meant to
don't know.
say.
Liger just kind of flows off.
Yeah, I guess it does.
I guess it does. Because you do want to put an R like right before the Tigran, not
Even though there's
Tigon.
it's not tiger.
I'm just
Yeah.
making sure. You guys are inebriated. I have to keep
I'm
the
not
show
inebriated.
balanced.
I'm a
You're
sober
drunk.
son of a
You
bitch.
are you are feeling saucy a little bit. I will admit, but you are holding it way better than I am. Actually, you barely really even show. You just got a little bit more cussy, vulgar, I guess you would say.
It happens.
Well, we
fuck
are
it happens.
we are vulgar lounge entertainers anyway, I guess you could say. but yeah. So how about you, John? How was your week?
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Anything big, new, exciting happened to you? while we were...
My nephew got baptized.
Yeah, how did that go?
I was a godparent. That was fun.
You're not the godfather.
I was a godfather.
You're the godfather.
I was.
Did you put cotton balls in your mouth?
Just for the whole day, yeah.
Just for the whole day. And then afterwards, the demand was like, John, you got to take them out now.
I made people an offer they couldn't refuse. And then I put bloody horse heads in people's beds.
That is how a godfather does business.
I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh, Nate!
Oh my god,
Shame.
You know what?
That's
another
I
movie
actually
we
made that
should
joke
force in.
at we had a little get together at my mom
Oh,
and dad's
yeah?
house, and my sister-in-law, Brittany,
Yeah.
Owen's mom, my brother's wife, hadn't seen The Godfather, so she didn't really know what I was talking about either. And then I found out she hadn't seen Shawshank Redemption either.
Oh,
I know. Which my brother listens to this in Austin. Make her watch Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
I don't
not
know
for
why.
the music.
Yeah, I don't know why she hasn't seen it, but
All right, so John, well, you'll start off
My
with some
fact.
fun. Yeah, what's
my
John's fact?
Okay, you ever seen pictures of old presidents, like paintings and things
Yeah,
like that?
sure.
You ever wonder why they're only just painted from the waist up, or with their hands behind their back, or they might have a hand out like this and one arm behind their back?
Yeah, no, I've never thought of that
Well,
before.
if you pay attention to the pictures, pretty much they're all like that, either from the waist up or like just a bust, basically. Mm-hmm. Well, when they brought in the painter to do a portrait of them, back then it was pretty hard to paint hands and fingers and legs and appendages and stuff. So they had to find someone special to come in to do it, someone that was really, really good, and that would cost extra. Hence the phrase, "It'll cost you an arm and a leg." So they had a flat fee, and then if you wanted an arm in there, they'd charge for an arm, or they'd charge for a leg. And it was always very, very expensive. So, and I learned that at church.
You know what? People try to say Jesus doesn't really teach you more than platitudes. That's fucking genius.
It was in my pastor's sermon.
See, Jesus teaches. He heals. And he teaches about paintings.
Sermon was about, but it was about...
That's the only thing you took away from that.
I got from it.
Sorry.
You know what? I heard Southwestern Airlines has some really nice planes now. There's some nice features. They have sunroofs on them now.
Mm-hmm. That's funny. I get that now. Sunroof because the top of the plane ripped off. Sunroof. No. You're all gonna die, kind of thing. Never mind. No.
That's awful.
Okay. Anyway.
All right, I got a better joke.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I got a better joke.
You got a.
No one cares in my segment.
How much coke? How much?
My turn.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot on the GBG.
I don't care.
How much cocaine?
50.
Shut up. How much cocaine did Martin Sheen? How much cocaine did Charlie Sheen have?
All of it.
I don't know.
Enough to kill 2.5 men.
Oh, have you been following some of the Twitters when his shows have been going on the last few times?
I know they've sucked really bad.
Well, the first one sucked a lot. The second one, actually, he 95% of the audience stayed, and they gave him a standing ovation.
Really?
Sorry. Okay, you can go now.
I actually stopped following them on Twitter.
What do we think when we think of the word pronking?
Oh, God.
Pronking.
That's the guy who gets nominated with the prom queen.
That's close. I could be a redneck.
I have no clue.
I'll give you
See what I did there?
I'll give you a clue. Gazelles do this.
They
frolic,
prance.
No.
They pronk around.
No.
They make pronk-like movements.
They prance.
They jumping high into the air.
Well, that's prancing. God damn it, Nate. That's fucking prancing.
It's not really
prancing. That's what they call him, prancer. That's dancer. Shit. I'm okay.
What else you got, Nate?
Is that it?
I don't know how no, I didn't know how much you wanted me to do. I didn't know what we had.
That's good.
We still have the interview and everything. I have a dumb law.
No, we'll save it for next time.
Yeah.
Next time. What we'll go ahead and do here
we have any emails or anything this week?
We'll save it for next episode.
Oh, okay.
We'll save it for next episode.
It's illegal to deny the existence of God in Vermont.
Okay. Well, Nate, thanks for those DJ Meets words and fun facts. We're going to take a break with a few songs and a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Mr. Bill Lawrence himself.
When you come to Central Park, there's gonna be a march right down the boulevard, holding hands and the singing starts. Here come the parents of a boy who love to see his joy, and they stand in his place, not hiding in disgrace. Discovered how to walk, and I've learned how to dance, and I've smiled at his hands. Since I was old enough to talk, I've known the truth down in my heart. In this land of yours and mine, I wanna march with you this time. All my life I've had to hide, not a true child of your God. What do you see in your heart? in Massachusetts. Found the people who knows what the truth is. And we dance around the yard like shadows falling on Cape Cod. Down in San Francisco, where we know there's no tomorrow. What melts the cold heart turn to stone? It's when their own child tells them so. The little boy they held so close. And here's the part of the parade when we make it to the city. There'll be no dry eyes or pity. Are you ready to die for love? Take my hand, we'll rise above. Are you ready to die for love? Take my hand, we'll rise above. He says, yes, I'm ready to die for love. Yes, I'm ready to die for love. She says, yes, I'm ready to die for love. Yes, I'm ready to die for love. He says, she says, yes, I'm ready to die for love. Yes, I'm ready to die for love. He says, she says, yes, I'm ready to die for love. Yes, I'm ready to die for love.
Hey, you know what book I've not read in a while?
What?
Angels and Demons by Dan Brown. There's a few new ones I wouldn't mind having either.
I'm busy a lot of the time too. Yeah, that's why I listen to audiobooks on my iPod Touch. It helps me stay in touch with the books I want to read and allow me to, fit in between the rest of my responsibilities. That's why for some of you listening to the Good, the Bad, and the Geeky podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 14-day trial to give you a chance to check out their service.
I was able to sign up and get a free copy of one of my favorite books, Catch Me If You Can.
Hey, do they have Horton Hears a Who?
Let me check.
Yes, they do.
So if you'd like to download your free audiobook today, go to audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky.
What's that again for the free audiobook?
Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky for your free audiobook.
Minds are relatively blown, so take a seat, Steve. Oh, I see you brought your own. What's with your voice? I can't frickin' tell. You sound like Barney having sex fit to speak and spell. I'll school you anywhere, MIT to Oxford. All your fans will be like, that was Harvard. I'm as dope as two rappers, you better be scared, cause that means Albert E equals MC squared. You've got no idea what you're messing with here, boy. I got 12-inch rims on my chair, that's how I roll, y'all. You look like someone glued a mustache on a troll doll. I'll be stretching out the rhyme like gravity stretches time when you try to put your little pea brain against this kind of mind. I'm the best on the Snoop Dogg science. I'll be dropping mad apples on your head from the shoulders of giants. I'm the giant whose shoulders you'd have stood on if you could stand. I'll give you a brief history of pain with the back of my hand. You can't destroy matter or me, for serious. Ripping holes in you bigger than the hole in your black hole theory was. There are 10 million particles in the universe that we can observe. Your mama took the ugly ones and put them into one nerd. You wanna bring the heat with the mushroom clouds you're making. I'm about to big raps from scratch like Carl Sagan. And while it's true that my work is based on you, I'm a supercomputer, you're like a TI-82. Ooh.
Okay, well, you go ahead and get that queued up there.
All right,
we're back. Before the break there, 5'8" with Ode in Massachusetts, and then after that, was epic rap battles of history number 7, Albert Einstein versus Stephen Hawking.
You ready?
Okay, I got it almost.
We got a special guest coming up next. He's been a great supporter of this show. He has written for TV shows like Friends.
And has co-created Spin City, Nobody's Watching, Clone High. But most of you may know him as creator of the now classic show, Scrubs.
And now is running one of the new hits on the new ABC comedy block, starring Courtney Cox. As of this very moment we're recording this, CougarTown returns Monday. That's this Monday, April 18th, right after Dancing with the Stars, before moving to its regular time, Wednesdays at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central on April 20th. You got him, Nick?
Yeah, dialing him now.
And here's CougarTown showrunner, co-creator, and executive producer, Bill Lawrence.
Hey, Bill.
Hey, Bill, how you doing?
Hey, Bill. Bill, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, glad to. You kidding? I love you guys.
And again, you were great on the Christmas episode too, by the way. You probably had no idea context of that shit, but it was really funny. I'm glad you helped us out.
I listened to it. I don't want to say it was my greatest moment in Hollywood, but I was very proud of it. You guys cut me well.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate that.
I'll go first. Last time we spoke to you, which was like back in 2009, I believe in other interviews you noted this as well as CougarTown star Josh Hopkins. The polite jab against all social networks and the mantra of they are full of fake friends and followers. So why Twitter?
Ooh, that's good. Why the change?
I'll tell you why, man. I think that the genius of Twitter is that it's very infectious, and when there's people around you that like it and enjoy it, they sucker you in, right?
Right.
And so I tried it in a smart way. ABC Studios is really kind of asks their writers, showrunners, and actors and actresses to get on as a promotional tool, but no one's forced to do anything. And if you're a comedian or a comedy writer, the immediate gratification of writing something that you think is funny and getting positive feedback is a little addictive. So it's seriously like someone trying to get you to try crack for the first time. And for me, Krista and I have started just bickering at night. Yes. Literally while lying in bed on Twitter. And I don't know why it's become very kind of fun and cathartic for our marriage, and it's not fake at all. I mean, they're almost all real fights. So I don't know. I don't think I'm doing exactly what ABC wanted me to do in talking about the show. I'm generally just trying to hit my wife up for sex, but
which is hilarious, by the way.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I really dig it because you got Krista involved, you got Josh on too. I mean, it really has been infectious in that regard. And then, of course, by the way, V Doozer, in case you are on Twitter and didn't know he's on Twitter, V Doozer is his username handle. And one of the really funny things is you went on a weird, I don't know if it was a drunk rant or not, but about a new TV show about Guess Who's Coming to Dinner with Bears.
Well, basically, look, I've always been, I get on very specific joke paths with the writers and drive them crazy. And one I've been on for years is I happen to think bears are cool animals. And so I used to sit around in the writer's room for hours and just say you could do Glengarry, Glenn Ross as Glenn Barry, Glenn Ross, and just do that David Mamet play with bears. And we would just mock argue about it. And so, whenever I get on there and I've had a couple of drinks, I generally talk about different bear projects I would like to do. which nobody understands, and it probably only makes like 4 people laugh, but it makes me very happy.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you were retweeting responses, I think, where people were like, they weren't getting it, and I'm like, well, it is sort of funny.
That's the point that they don't get it.
No, exactly.
Yeah, people say, so they're like cartoon bears? Like, no, they're real bears. And I don't think it could be any simpler. Do they wear costumes? No, they maybe in the Glenn Ross one, they wear like a tie, probably a fish tie of some sort. And they carry a briefcase, but otherwise, no, they're just real bears.
Yeah, and I would love to see one of I think he's passed away sadly, but if you could go back in time and was it Bert the Bear, the guy from Legend of the Bear?
Bart the Bear.
Bart the Bear.
I know bears, man. It was Bart. Bart the Bear, he was in that movie with Anthony Hopkins and Alec Baldwin.
Yeah, speaking of Alec Baldwin, he could be the Alec Baldwin guy in Glengarry and give the ABC, quote.
Of course. You kidding me? What's it? That's always be closing. Salmon is for winners. Fish is for closers. I don't know, dude.
Oh, God.
And the other thing that actually sucked me on the Twitter, to tell you the truth, was, and I got to give her a shout out, is out of nowhere, ABC called us, and Shonda Rhimes, who has like 2 million followers, occasionally just randomly tweets the words penny can or talks about how much he likes CougarTown.
Oh, yeah, I've seen
it, yeah. We could actually track people coming over and trying our show out from that. And so we ended up really, taking the time to get on there and thank her and, realize that maybe you could actually use it as a way to get people to check out the show. It might be a valuable tool, especially when a show like ours is, hopefully not what people think anymore.
That is really funny that you say that because... all
right, William. I probably shouldn't say William. That's probably not right. I should probably say Bill.
He's being really stubborn about it.
I really did try to like CougarTown, but it's just not for me.
God.
And he's never tried it again, has he?
No, he's very stubborn.
Well, he's dead to me now, man. I'm telling you, that you miss out on too much good TV that way.
Well, I don't have a DVR, so I don't get to watch it that often. But when I do get to catch it live, I do enjoy myself. It is a good show. I do like it.
I almost missed out on The Wire that way because when I first went. By the way, that's me saying CougarTown is as good as The Wire. It's not. But I remember watching The Wire at first, and you had to actually pay attention and think, and it made my head hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I just bailed. I'm like, man, I'm not in the mood to watch TV that I have to write notes down so I can follow it. And then I eventually got back in when a bunch of friends were like, dude, you're an idiot. This is the best show on TV, and watch the whole thing is amazing.
Matter of factly, this is pre-recorded before the first half of the show. So before we record the first half of the show, we've actually have played a game of penny can. Every shot missed.
Outstanding. Make your own rules and make sure there's drinking involved.
Actually, that's what I was going to say. Every shot missed, we have to take a drink. I think we have 20 pennies each. So, yeah, we're going to be really soused on the show because it'll be us talking and then it's and then very clear talking afterwards. But
the only rule you got to stay clear, because it is a drinking game that we just invented, boring the writers drinking. The only thing you have to stay true to is if anybody sinks it, you have to sing penny can. That's the only thing I care about.
I was playing it at work the other day because we had nothing to do, and I was like, I need to practice for this little tournament I'm doing because I don't want to be completely horribly soused. I have to run the board and all that, and so I'm like tossing pennies, and that was the one thing I had is like we all got to sing penny can if one gets it, and it's infectious. I got like 5 players playing. It was a lot of fun.
See, there you go, man. You can't stop. It's the dumbest game on earth. There's a huge. Kind of cool promotional thing in the first episode back. It kind of revolves around penny can. I'm not allowed. It's big spoiler stuff, so I'm not allowed to say anything. But if people dig the game, they should watch the first one.
Oh, I love CougarTown, and one of the things that I really like too, and get back with Twitter a little bit, is that you guys in your last show cried to me, put your guys' handle out there on the title card, and then on top of that, like I know you're a fan of The Simpsons. The title card is. By the way, what do they call the opening of a show where it's a commercial break? They get like a little quick 1-2 punch, and then it cut. Is that smash cut in the TV industry? Or
you mean like the cold open of the show, and then it goes to the credits?
Yeah,
because like a smash cut is just a type of cut, like it's a gag cut. You know what I mean? A smash cut is like when you set up a thing in one scene and then cut to the reveal. What kind of an idiot would buy a car with no engine and then you smash cut to somebody next to a car with no engine going, "I'll take it." That's like a smash cut joke.
Okay.
We're really doing kind of like a whole first act before our opening credits,
Gotcha.
But it's still in our heads. It's still like a cold open.
Open. Well, I love the cold open because sometimes you guys write it's funny, but it's not laugh out loud, and then you have the title card to sort of just give it the knockout punch, and I love it. It's almost like your guys' take on The Simpsons. With the couch
It is without a doubt. It is without a doubt. Because, I've always wanted to do something like that, but only if there's a way to do a fresh take. And for us, it's shitting on the title of our show because we know it's horrible, but we're embracing it now.
Well, who came up with that, especially because of that? Because I know you guys were openly trying to possibly change the title, and there was a big confusion about, do we change it, do we not? ABC's fine with whatever we want to do, but
look, we couldn't think of a great new title.
Oh yeah,
and nothing that we loved so much that was so amazing that it was worth. Because believe it or not, our show was still doing well enough to come back, and so there's nothing that was worth maybe alienating the people that already liked the show. Mm-hmm. And so our compromise was we keep it the same title for the people that actually don't care and liked it and embraced it. And for everybody else, we, self-deprecatingly acknowledge that we think it's a bad title and it was a dumb, pop culture joke. And and it's not the show anymore. The only issue at this point is it's hard to believe, man, but it's like almost 2 years in, and I'll still, even in the media, read Entertainment Weekly is very nice to us, and there's a couple reviewers there that recap the show and are great. But not just like your place, not everybody at every magazine or every website watches and likes the same things.
Oh yeah.
So some dude, we're doing some cross promotion with the show Community, and some dude there wrote a review that said, I can't imagine anybody that likes Community also likes Cougar Town, a show about chasing young chicks around, young guys around.
Missed the point. He doesn't even know what the show's about anymore.
And I was like, dude, how can you, a TV reviewer after 2 years, not know that that's not the show? I mean, there's been 9 billion articles about it in your own magazine.
Yeah.
So
see, that's one of my arguments.
But it's fun for me. We get to do the Simpsons thing. Hopefully, have our cake and eat it too a little bit.
Oh yeah, and you guys do a wonderful job with it. I absolutely adore the show. It literally is one of my favorite shows now on television, and and again, you always make the B Squad characters really just knock it out of the park every time with that, and I really enjoy that.
Well, I think it's one of the most fun things about TV. You and I've talked about that before. It's just I never care when a TV show has a guest star on that's not there to be funny, and usually the way television works is if someone's famous, they get jokes, and if they're not, they just get exposition, and I think that's idiotic. We got lucky on lots of most of the shows I've done, we've gotten lucky that sometimes people's favorite character are somebody off the B team, and if you can wrap fans in like that, right now on this show already we'll look for more, but we've already got I love Barry Bostwick, I love Carolyn Hennessy, I love Bob Clendenin, and I think they add a lot to the show, and so we'll keep doing that as the years go by, hopefully.
We talked about this on Twitter a little bit, but Alan Ruck, man, loves he's going to come back at some point on Cougar Town, you think?
Yeah, I got to get Alan back. It's tough because the only thing is, in a good way, when you see people that are funny, we'll wait and see. They generally end up getting cast in pilots. Which means they're going to have their own show. But then so basically what I do is once the season starts, you take stock of who's not, in a full-time gig. It's like everybody, when I was doing Scrubs, everybody's like, how come you never had Connie Britton on the show? And she's so good in Friday Night Lights. I'm like, well, you just answered your own question. She shoots 8 days a week and 16-hour days. She's not, same thing with right now, people know that, Kate Walsh, because she follows me on Twitter and stuff, is an old friend of mine and Krista's. And they're like, why can't she be on the show? Like, well, she's actually got an ABC show, and she works about 9,000 hours a week. So same thing with Alan Ruck. We'll see what he's doing once the TV season schedules are announced.
No, yeah, because I just saw him with friends. I was like, man, this guy, and you've got to work with him on Spin City, so... I mean, the guy is...
Yeah, I put him on Scrubs, too. He's a funny dude.
Oh, yeah. He played the guy that sued Elliot. Yeah. But... I'm trying very hard not to talk about Scrubs because everyone does talk about Scrubs, so I'm trying to very politely.
I like it.
I love the show. I'm very excited.
One of the things I'm doing this morning, I just kind of announced it on Twitter, is the Scrubs site. It's insane on Facebook. Still has 9 million fans, 9,100,000. So I kind of taken over that site this week. That's why I haven't been on Twitter as much. And I'm going to give people a whole bunch of Scrubs content. It's an absolute, me begging and groveling. I'm essentially going to trade kind of cool Scrubs content, with Zach and Ted, Ted's acapella band and Todd and other characters and gag reels that we never got to show and pictures of the pilot and stuff for people that have never seen Cougar Town or only watched it when it was a crap show to pledge to just check out one of the 2 episodes that first week. And so it's a promotional idea that I had with some buddies of, and I know I'd say 1 out of every 10 comments on Facebook, 1 out of every 5 is going to be, you, Cougar Town sucks, I love Scrubs. But I don't care. It's worth it.
Heck yeah. Well, by the way, that's facebook.com/Scrubs. And I actually, it posted a little bit before you, probably about 20 minutes before you called. So I've been able to see it's really funny. You got a special guest. I'm not going to spoil it. So check it out.
Yeah, Facebook.com. It cracked me up that he was literally. I just called him and I said, "Hey man, you around? Come over here really quick."
Yeah, it was awesome. And you had to fight to get control of that a little bit, didn't you? Or
yeah, what's amazing is here's the problem, man. Twitter is such an interesting thing. It's why one of the reasons I do like it. You put your own handle up there, and then you go at it yourself, and you control it, and it's whatever content you do, and people generally leave you be. The problem with the Scrubs Facebook thing was that it was launched and started by Disney years ago on ABC, and the second that a corporation is behind it, the legal people get in. There's big chunks of stuff. Any cursing I did, anything that I mentioned about people that were coming on the shows, anything I said about giving scripts away was all removed because their lawyers find a way to make trouble with something. But I'll just keep circumventing it and hopefully get to a point that I can just say what I want on Twitter, and I'll direct people to Twitter from the Facebook site.
Yeah. Well, hopefully so, because I'm very glad you're taking it over, because you've always been really kind to us fans and getting all the content out there. Matter of fact, with one of the Twitter things, you got one of the cameramen to post pictures, polite spoiler pictures, not really major spoilers, but this is the sunset, this is where we're shooting, stuff like that. Really cool insight, and of course you and Kevin do that as well. But speaking, one of the cool features I want to touch on this real quick for Cougar Town is
ask about the Vulture video.
That's what I was going to.
Well, I have one better.
Oh, okay.
Cougar Town was pushed back a few weeks by another show on ABC, trying to test the show out.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What are your thoughts on Mr. Sunshine?
What's interesting, man? It's here's what I can tell you. Creatively, I'm a Matt Perry fan, and one of the things that gets hit about the show, it's kind of a dark and dour. I actually kind of like that personally.
Yeah.
So creative stuff to me is always subjective.
Mm-hmm.
I think where it's a tough road is, the time slot behind Modern Family is a double-edged sword, because ABC, rightly so, says, hey, this is our best time slot to show a new show and to launch it, okay? But the truth of the matter is, and I went through this when Scrubs was behind Friends, when you're behind a bona fide hit, you're not going to, and you're still on against shows like American Idol, you're not going to match the bona fide hits audience, and you're going to look like a failure by comparison. Right. It happens on Fox with Raising Hope. It happened to Scrubs when the second year of Scrubs was put behind Friends. Yeah. And Scrubs, the second year of Scrubs, the show was in the top 10 and had the highest, had insane ratings, and yet people are still like, oh, it's only retaining 71% of Friends' audience. Well, guess what? No show they put there for 8 years retained 100% of Friends' audience, because Friends is a giant juggernaut hit,
Right.
And the networks, unfortunately, still look at that stuff and the media as a way to judge a show's success or failure. I personally don't think in the modern landscape that ABC is going to find a show to put behind Modern Family that's going to match Modern Family's numbers. It's not how TV works anymore. What they have to hope is that they find a show that they like enough creatively that they stick with for a long time, and eventually becomes, something that can survive on its own. That's the CBS How I Met Your Mother story,
Right.
I was in New York, I think it was the third upfronts or whatever, when the show, either the third or fourth year, when the show wasn't even going to get picked up, because it's like, oh, it's not retaining its 2.5 men audience. You know what I mean? But back then, there was no way it would. So
right.
I remember reading that the ratings weren't great.
Right, with the ratings.
So I think that they got the double-edged sword of, hey, you get lots of eyes on you in this spot, but you get criticized in a way that's not fair. By extension, it made Cougar Town look really good, our ratings and numbers, and that also should mean nothing. You know what I mean? It just should be what the network thinks of the show creatively, and luckily with us, they really like us. I don't know how they feel about Mr. Sunshine. And
well, did you feel competitive then?
I didn't feel competitive, to tell you the truth. It would behoove us for it to really work and for the network to embrace it, because the more comedy on ABC, the better. I want them to open up another night next year.
Right. Well, I mean, I was surprised that ABC, and maybe I don't know them, so I don't know their thoughts on it. But I mean, they probably get a little tired of the media clumping them together. But why didn't they do like a Cougar Town and Mr. Sunshine, advertise it that way? But again, I'm not a network. I mean, we all wish we were at times, but especially because Cougar Town's been off the air for, God, it feels like it's forever, and it's sad, because it's a great show. And
I can't tell if it's sad or good yet, only because to be fully candid, if Cougar Town was on getting hammered by American Idol, the way that those shows are getting hammered by American Idol, except for Modern Family right now, we would be taking huge hits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So in retrospect, it's never nice to have your show off, but we'll see if this turned out to be a bad thing or a good thing or not. I can't really tell.
Right.
I felt a little protected. I almost found myself wishing that there was a middle ground. Do you know what I mean? That we were off and not off for as long.
Right. Well, Netflix announced, that they're going to be doing, doing their own shows, which I just find to be like, especially in the rating landscape, it's already pretty much FUBAR at this point. How? Yeah, well, no, it really is, because right now, like,
I agree.
Yeah, well, do we count online views, and if so, how much are they really counting? And I remember I'm a big Fringe fan, and there's a big debate on TV by the numbers, which is which numbers are Fox looking at? Because if you're looking by the demos, they're doing good for the time slot, they're winning Fox the night, but then there's this other thing where they're actually higher in the demographic, but using a different set of online numbers, and they think that's what it's just like, seriously, like they need to try to narrow it down. But what's Netflix going to use? Like, I mean, are they just going to do general downloads? How do they recognize it as a success to keep it going? That it's just.
I don't know. But you're hitting a long time, dilemma question that a lot of creators have gone through, which is all systems of measuring. The Nielsen's are inherently flawed. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Look, they at one point they had 2,100 boxes representing the entire country. Jeez. One of the examples I always use, just so people know I'm not just slanting things in my own favor, because I think it's easy to say, hey, way more people watch many people watch Scrubs than they think, was I always compare Scrubs and Spin City. And Spin City had huge ratings most of the time, and ratings that, Scrubs never came close to. And yet, as a guy that created both shows, just from anecdotal evidence and being out in the world, I would say that Scrubs was way more watched and way more popular.
Yeah.
And what's weird about, so to me, I'm not going, hey, Scrubs is more watched than people think. Like, I'm biased.
No,
I'm saying more people watch Scrubs than my other show, even though the numbers would tell you the opposite. I mean, I'm taking over a Facebook site that 2 years after Scrubs ended has 9,100,000 followers,
Right.
And whether it be, Live +3, Live +7, not rating college dorms, not following how many kids watch it on their computer, all the things that work on the shows that people like you and I like.
Right.
I can't tell if CougarTown, if it's a good thing for us that CougarTown is in the top 10, when it left, of shows that as far as the amount of jump it takes up in the DVR +7. We were going up like 0.7 tenths of a point. Which is huge. Is the difference between, sometimes like a 2.9 and a 3.6. One would be almost able to hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's easy to point to and go, well, guess what? It's the last half an hour of Idol. And anyways, I think that what you're going to find is, in a good way, a lot of these people are going to have to depend not only on downloads and whatever empirical data they can get, but also on media buzz. Do you know what I mean? Like, I look at a show so I'm not using my own example. I'll look at a show like Community, which in the Nielsen's does not do a huge number.
It's very sad.
But if anybody is to go online and follow the media coverage of it and follow their fan base, it would be very easy to determine for marketers that it attracts a highly educated, young, hipster fan base, and right in the demographic, and those are people that advertisers desire. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So I just think we're going to have to get further and further away from Nielsen's per se, and that's not a bad thing.
Right. Well, and speaking of, you brought it up. You brought it up twice now, and I was going to try to save it up for last, but I mean, you're bringing it up, and I want to get right into it then, is a Community. Now, you've openly said there's no way it could have worked out or anything like that, but of course I figured you had to know something. But my argument was, for you telling people it couldn't happen, is equally as long as it takes for you to edit shows, and this show for Community had to be coming down pretty down far in the pipeline, I would figure, at least for a few weeks, so enough that you could maybe work a quick cameo, and that was my argument for those who are, well, it could happen, right? But yeah, I mean, I'm very excited for the episode coming back. I think it's I have it written, we promoted it, it's April 18th, and of course the 20th.
April 18th after Dancing with the Stars, and then April 20th on a normal time slot. I will tell you that neither of those episodes has a Community shout out, because we thought both of those episodes were going to be before this break and stuff like that. But The two executive producers of Scrubs work with Dan Harmon over on Community. We were lucky enough to see the pages of that one they shot beforehand. We've been kind of secretly cross-promoting each other under the radar for a while, just because we're fans of both shows. To think that we didn't know that was coming and there won't be something, some kind of community shout out back to them before the end of the year would be silly. So that's the best thing I can say without being too much of a spoiler.
No, understandable. I honestly, I'm excited about what you guys might do. I actually don't want to be spoiled on it. It's just more like wow. I mean, it became a forever almost. Like people did it happen? Did it not happen? What? In terms of did you guys know about it or whatever? And then I saw TV Line did that.
It's also part of a bigger idea, which is one of the things I like about Dan and Neil and Garrett over there is they're kind of outside the box thinkers too. Is that Kevin and I we kind of stumbled on the notion of one of the things we're doing with Twitter and Facebook is self-promoting our show, and then one of the things we were just goofing around about one day was because networks really seem to drop the ball a lot on promoting television, and in their defense, you can't just air a good commercial and promote a TV show anymore because no one watches TV that way. No one goes, I'm going to stay on this channel all night. It's just an archaic way to watch television.
Right.
So we just had the notion of wonder if you could secretly cross-promote a show as long as it's not your direct competition, that's on another network on a different night, and that notion of having our characters say that they like Community and having their characters say that they like CougarTown is just fascinating to me because I personally, unlike that EW writer, think that it's the same sensibility, and they're both shows about kind of dysfunctional families of friends, that balance negativity with an undercurrent of really caring about each other. And it's funny because people are like, how could you see references? And I'm like, well, they do movie parodies all the time. One of the ways our show first popped was they played Shawshank Redemption back by our pool, and we've done that, and there's some great movie parodies on this one coming up too. There's a Jaws one and a Castaway one that both kill me. My point was, I think that there's new and exciting ways for showrunners to kind of take their show out there to the world. And that's one of the exciting things about the internet and Twitter and stuff. And hopefully Dan and I won't get in trouble for promoting each other's shows on different networks.
I don't
know how he pulled it off. I know how we pulled it off. We didn't tell anybody. I don't know how he pulled it off. I also think it's in a cool way, it seems to really walk the line between being flattering and being snarky. And I think that's important because if it were to just be like a love letter, then I think fans would see through it and go, hey, screw that. It's the same way, we had one of the references we had for Community was Travis's girlfriend complaining that one of their first dates was he made her watch the first season DVD of Community, like it was something that only a nerd would do,
Yeah.
And on one level, we're saying, hey, he really loves that show, and on the other, she's making fun of him for being a dork, So I don't know. We'll see. You'll like. I guarantee you'll like the payback that we have for him.
I'm very excited for it. Now, in terms of some of the again, I don't want you to spoil, and of course, I don't want you to get in trouble. But the episodes coming back on April 18th and April 20th. Those were supposed to happen. They were both supposed to happen before the break initially, or.
One of them was definitely before the break, the one on the 20th, but we moved it around a little bit and juggled the schedule around a bit afterwards. But it's one of the coolest things is, we know that there's a danger to being gone so long. So we've really come back in the first 3 episodes with the type of Easter eggs and fan participation type stuff that if people really pay attention, there's a lot of extra content and stuff, so hopefully they'll dig them. Here, I'll give you one I haven't even told everybody about. I think I'm going to mention it once in the 3rd episode. If people go on Twitter now and look up The Larmy, which is TheLarmy, it stands for The Lori's Army. They'll probably already see her character's Twitter site in one of the episodes. She'll be live tweeting on the show, but also on Twitter as well. And I think in the episode she said she promised her followers 24 straight hours of content. We're gonna drink all night and try to do it.
That's freaking awesome.
Start following her now. It'll come into use in about 2 weeks.
I love stuff like that. When anything, TV show or movie, does that. I remember the last good film one I saw was for Batman, where they were giving out little pieces of the Joker, what Heath Ledger looked like as the Joker. And they made it like a real viral thing. Like he hacked the Harvey Dent for website. It's all kinds of crazy. It was awesome. So I love stuff like that.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the break, this is what I was actually going to the Vulture stuff. I love the Vulture stuff. It's absolutely fantastic. I'll post a link to it in the show notes so people can check it out. And we're recording this the day before the last one comes out, correct?
Yeah, Beegs and I are shooting in fact, the only reason I'll have to bolt from the call is Kevin and I are shooting the last one with my wife as we speak. That's really cool. Just to post tomorrow morning, but it'll be fun.
Heck yeah.
My son makes a huge cameo in it as a ninja. Form. He's very good.
Well, Bill, we don't want to keep you waiting on here and whatnot, so we'll go ahead and let you go. But before we go, there was something that Nate was going to plug. It's been in advance, but...
just mentioning it in advance, Thursday... Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Just mentioning this in advance. Thursday, May 19th at 7:30 p.m., there's an evening with Bill Lawrence.
Held by the Writers Guild Foundation. We'll have link for...
Oh, thanks, man. I forgot about that. Yeah, it's a good charity. It's a good organization, so tell people to come by if they want to. I promise to say stuff that'll get me in trouble.
No. And then, of course, Cougar Town itself returns Monday, April 18th, after Dancing with the Stars, before moving to its regular time slot, Wednesday night at 9:30, 8:30 Central on April 20th.
That's my one plug. If you've never watched it, I promise you it's not the show you think it is. People will dig it. It's a good example of these first 2 episodes back.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it. Bill, thanks so much. We greatly appreciate it.
I love talking to you guys, man. I hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, definitely, man. Thanks.
See you.
Big thanks to Bill Lawrence for, again, doing the show. As always, he's a class act. And just a little reminder that his show, Cougar Town, returns Monday, April 18th after Dancing with the Stars before moving to its regular time. Wednesdays at 9:30, 8:30 Central on April 20th. I don't know how many times we can repeat it, but seriously, watch the show. It's funny stuff, and as he said, if you haven't seen it in a while, or you still think it's about what you think it's about, then you need to check it out again. It's a great show, and also check out the show notes for some of the things we talked about in the interview, and also during the rest of the episode. If you're having problems finding it in the show notes, go to our website gbgpodcast.com, episode 140. And all the show notes or additional links should be listed there. If you have an Android or iPhone GBG app, there is tons of great content from tonight's episode, including a lot of silly drunk rambling, such as the original ending of the show, which just went on way too long. So this is sort of a redo, a sober version. And but pretty much we almost had our drunk cast version of The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky. It might not be posted until the next episode goes live, but also look for the PDF version of the interview with Bill. Plus, the GBG version of the rules will be added to the extra section in the PDF of the GBG app. And look for the YouTube video going up in the next week or two of the actual game of Penny Can we played. All this and much more if you check out the GBG app for your Android or iPhone smartphone. Just look up Good Bad Geeky in the Android store or iTunes, and for $1.99, you can get everything listed on tonight's episode and more on the other episodes. If you have any thoughts, like thought we sucked interviewing, or thought we didn't ask the right questions, or heck, maybe you liked it, or just have something else to say altogether, email us at goodbadgeeky@gmail.com. Check out our website, goodbag or gbgpodcast.com. Click on the Contact Us link, or, of course, leave us a voicemail. Offer your thoughts, 614-364-4088. I can guarantee you, if you leave us a voicemail, we will play it on the show. So, on behalf of John and Nate, thanks very much for listening. Again, check out the GBG app. There are a lot of funny outtakes and just us rambling drunkenly on the show. It's pretty awesome. And until next episode, have a good one.
Get out of here without cheese! You're a creep! Go away! We're having a good time until you showed up, cheapers! Go have some coffee with cream or something! Because I'll tell you something! This is a happy place!
What the fuck am I supposed to say? What song is that?